Even though it's real estate, single family and multifamily are very different when it comes to what you look at, how you purchase it, so on and so forth. So my husband went off to Dallas to attend a Brad Sumrock event about multifamily. Maybe you can tell him a little bit about, what you learned there and what the pivotal point was, dear, for saying, hey, this is the way that we should be going, not continue multifamily.
Your network is your net worth. Come listen to some of the most successful people I know share invaluable knowledge, stories, and advice in real estate, business, and beyond. This is Weiss Advice. Whether you want to take your business or personal life to the next level, look no further. Welcome back to another episode of Weiss Advice. I am your host, Yona Weiss. Again, with an incredible episode here, we have another power couple. I'm excited to bring to the show Melvin and Jacqueline Landry, or Melvin Jackie, as we just established. But it's so good to have you guys on the show, all the way from Pittsburgh, PA. What's going on? How you guys doing?
We're doing well.
We're blessed, yeah.
Well, we all are blessed. It's really a matter of recognizing that. That's what I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take the time to recognize all the blessings that we really have in our lives. Everyone does. But really grateful for you guys taking the time and coming on the show. I know you've had interesting careers in general, as well as the real estate, bug, which has taken you guys over for quite some time and has really kind of transitioned your careers or your paths, if you will. I'd love to just kind of hear the background. What made you guys get started in this? How'd you get involved? I don't know who wants to take the reins, but maybe you guys can trade off.
Yep, you could start, honey.
Sure. So I started off in real estate 2005. Started off just kind of getting a few properties in Western PA. I was living afar. I was living in Colorado and Omaha at the time because I was still kind of bouncing around in my corporate career. And my buddies from the University of Arkansas, two of my closest confidants, were actually living in Pittsburgh. So I used to come out and visit my buddies and, hang out with them. And they had a few rental properties. And I saw it as an opportunity for me to get another stream of income, believe it or not. So went gangbusters. Started buying properties in Pittsburgh, PA. Then I bought a condo in Scottsdale, Arizona. Then I bought a property in Indianapolis. So I was spread across 3 states, living in the Midwest, but was growing the portfolio heavy in Pittsburgh, PA. So it just kept growing and growing. And mind you, I'm still working a corporate job. I'm still teaching because I'm a professor as well, part-time. Got to the point where I was like 50 properties in across 3 states.
That's amazing.
You get to 2008, 2009, kind of got punched in the face, right? So end up short selling the condo that I had in Arizona, end up short selling the property I had in Indianapolis, but the properties I had in Western PA still stood strong, and I kept growing and growing and growing. So that kind of kickstarted the backbone for me in real estate. Amazing.
And you were doing that, like you said, while still working and teaching as a college professor full-time.
Yeah. So in between that time, I got a power team together, right? So a realtor, contractors, confidants, who I trusted, right? Know, like, trust. And that was able to help me to grow the portfolio while I was in the middle of the country, in the heartland of America. So, yeah.
Right. And so this was all basically single families, or did you have some small multifamilies in there?
Duplex, couple of duplexes, but primarily duplex and single family. So the goal was to accumulate as much as possible with a lot of cash that I had. And then, going into single family, got a mentor, got into the education system, and I started learning how to accumulate with cash. Cash I refi, go buy some more. And awesome. I kept doing that. So that started to work for me, and that light bulb went off in that arena.
Yeah. And so at what point did you guys come across the idea of commercial real estate or multifamily? I know you guys are into self-storage, and I know in the past, 12 months, you've done a lot of, syndications and involved both actively and passively. Where did you learn about that, or what was that transition like for you? Because a lot of times people who have had, a couple decades of experience owning single families just keep doing that.
You want to speak to that?
Well, yeah, sure, I can. So it was May 2022. So email came across my husband's desk and said, hey, why don't you come out to this seminar and learn about multifamily? So my husband's like, this sounds interesting. I wonder what this is all about. Because even though it's real estate, single family and multifamily are very different when it comes to what you look at, how you purchase it, so on and so forth. So my husband went off to Dallas to attend a Brad Sumrock event about multifamily. Maybe you can tell them a little bit about, what you learned there and what the pivotal point was, dear, for saying, hey, this is the way that we should be going, not continue multifamily.
Yeah, I know Brad Sumrock has had a lot of influence on people who, leaving the rat race, getting out of your corporate career and helping people to, start in the real estate, multifamily specifically.
Yeah, yes, I went to a seminar and my mouth fell to the floor. I saw all these people were kind of talking about some of the things that they were doing, and I was just a sponge for learning in that initial seminar. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I thought walking in like, hey, I got a sizable portfolio. I feel pretty good going in there, right? It's just I walked in there, I'm like, whoa, humbled me pretty quick. So it was good to see, the proximity of folks doing stuff, building relationships even from the time I walked in the door, and just the openness of folks willing to share information and education in on the space about their experiences, what they're doing next, and potentially how you can get in to be a part of this. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty interesting. So I'm like, dear, I'm excited, right? So I left out of there fired up and excited. And coming out of that, it's like a track race because I ran track in college as well. Started sprinting out the gates, and we've been cruising ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. So the interesting part, Jonas, is that he came home. He was super excited about this. I'm still working my corporate job. I'm like, what is my husband talking about? What is this multifamily about? We just signed up for this, rather expensive personal mentoring program. And so I trust my husband given his success in single family. So I said, you know what, dear, let's just go with it. But it was really till October that my light bulb went on. And my husband kind of said, hey, if we're going to do this the right way, you need to quit your corporate job. I need systems. We need websites. We need to be out there mingling. And you can't do that working a 9-to-5. Plus, I was super stressed. I was on the phone 8 to 10 hours a day, no time to eat or breathe in between that. So we made a decision October 28th, not the 31st, for me to quit my corporate job and jump into this full time. So really up to this point, I didn't know much about multifamily. So I knew what my husband told me back from the seminars. And a few weeks later, dear, I think it was like early November, we went to our first mastermind group. And it blew my mind. So then I now had the fire that Melvin had inside of him after this multifamily event, because it was the first time being around like-minded people that didn't even have any experience with multifamily 1 or 2 years ago, that were knocking it out of the park, and that I was super pumped. So that's kind of how I came on board a few months after my husband, but really the fire went on, when I went to this mastermind event in November.
Yeah. And I mean, to put it lightly, I think these type of things have had an effect on a huge amount of people. Now, there are a lot of people that get the bug and get excited about it. And then there are people that take the next step and take massive action, which is really what differentiates a lot of people from listening and having what's called the analysis paralysis and those who actually, take action, establish a company, build a website, right? Start investing alongside others, learning, mentoring, figuring out all the systems and setting up those systems. I mean, it's running a business. Obviously, Jackie, you've had success in a corporate career doing project management. That's something clearly that has helped running, a new commercial real estate business.
Yeah, absolutely. And we took action.
Yeah. The mindset was, I'm like, well, man, I kind of passively, push my single family business, working multiple jobs, and I grew it really fast, really quick. Imagine if we're kind of all hands on deck, all focus. Mindset is like, you can accomplish this from a multifamily standpoint. So, I was fired up, man. Fired up and ready to run through a wall in terms of the opportunity, how we can scale. I know we can do this. But again, right, we need to kind of ensure that we have the focus and the concentration to ensure that we get it done. It's been going great ever since, man. So happy about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we did was kind of look at, all right, what money do we have everywhere, right? What's in our bank account? What's in our 401k? What's in, all the money buckets that we had, in the family. And we started saying, man, we need to execute and we need to accelerate. We need to get this out into investments because it's not doing us any good sitting in a 401k or even sitting in our bank account. So we immediately moved money over from our 401k or other sources into a self-directed IRA or directly into investments that we're hoping will double here in the next 3 to 5 years.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you've leveraged, you talked to a lot of interesting points here that not everyone really knows about, that you can leverage your 401ks. You can roll over money that's just sitting there in your retirement account to use. And obviously you can't use that in your own personal investments, but you can use that to passively invest in other people's deals.
Yeah. Yeah. That was transformational. I worked a lot of jobs. Literally during this journey, I've moved 4 different 401ks that were sitting out there doing nothing but collecting dust, no interest, moved into the self-directed IRA and was able to passively invest in deals to, 1, get diversified, and 2, put our dollars to work for us, which is key. So, you didn't know what you didn't know, right? Well, that's where education comes in and action follows, which is key. So, yeah.
And so many people don't know about that. It's so crazy. I just got back from a real estate conference, single family real estate, right? Residential folks. And they had no clue that you can move money over into a self-directed IRA and invest in whatever you like, multifamily or, medical devices or health and wellness or whatever. So it's interesting how that people are not educated in that. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is. Tell me about one thing that kind of stands out to me when I hear about, so obviously there's all these mastermind groups, there's all these seminars, a lot of people who have gone through corporate jobs, retiring from their jobs to go full-time into real estate takes a lot of, not just initiative, but takes some guts. You have to have at least some sort of a cushion to allow you to do that. Not everyone has that cushion, but have you guys set, at this point, certain goals of, hey, in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, like this is what we want to be doing?
It's a fantastic question. We talk about that. It's almost in our weekly kind of discussion in terms of how we're looking at things of that nature. So we set KPIs, right? We allowed for Jackie to retire last October. Of course, we have a young son, right, who's active in sports. So you got to keep the constant flow of money going through the house. So, I'm doing a 9 to 5. Right. I enjoy what I do. I'm in procurement and supply chain. Been doing that 20 plus years. I have a passion for teaching. I'm a college professor of economics, various schools online. And the single family portfolio, while we've reduced some, it's kind of a well-oiled machine. So even before I got ramped up and excited in multifamily, I was always of the mindset. I've always had an economic mindset, multiple streams of income, working multiple jobs, been doing so all my career. But the target is, right, you got to put a line in the sand eventually, right? So we're targeting a few years, 36 months, maybe I can easily kind of be able to move forward and kind of continue the trajectory path of multifamily self-storage, alternative assets, growing our portfolio. We're avid passive investors and we want to kind of keep that going. So we are pretty hardcore on keeping to our goals in terms of our number of passive investments for the year, as well as active investments while we're in the ramp up phase. And right now we're at cruising altitude, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. And the way I kind of explain it is, we have a certain amount of money that we put in each year 1, year 2, year 3. By the time year 4 comes, give or take, year 4, year 5, year 6, whatever it is, we'll double all those investments. Right. And then I hope that my husband can eliminate some of the jobs that he has so that he could get more sleep and we can enjoy the wealth that we've actually built and that we're going to build. So that's really the goal that we have together, is really 24 to 36 months, eliminate some of the, the jobs that my husband has, get more sleep and just really enjoy life more, give him a chance to breathe throughout the day and the night. And, do things that matter to us, right? Spend time with family and more time with our son. So he'll be close to, getting into the 12 and 13-year age. So he's going to need guidance.
Yep.
That's awesome. It really is important to have those KPIs, have those goals, and know what you're looking for, know what, what's keeping you moving. In terms of the actual investments, though, has there been a specific, I know your company is More Land, which, that's just an awesome name, right? More Land.
There's a ring to that in terms of how that name came about, believe it or not.
Well, first, let's just jump right in there. So what is that? Tell me more about More Land. How'd that come about?
So More, my wife's maiden name is Morelli, Italian, Polish lady from Chicago. Landry / partnership. Here we go.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it happened to tie nicely into real estate too, like more land, land to build real estate on. So we said, that'd be cool. So
that'd be cool. So,
we like the ring.
Came together. Yep.
That's awesome. I love that partnership going on there. Is your business model focused at all in acquiring land? Because I know you're heavily involved in multifamily. but is there any kind of development side to that you're, looking into learning about?
I can speak to that. We actually own a small piece of land here in my local market that we're trying to determine how to monetize on it. So looking at potentially doing a feasibility study to build some self-storage in our respective markets. So before I was not kind of thinking about it in terms of how to additionally monetize, but hey, through education, through proximity, have a potential opportunity here to kind of monetize on an acre of land that we have that sits on a hill, and looking at ways to, looking at some various elements in terms of self-storage, maybe a small industrial ordeal to kind of maximize the potential there. So
yeah,
open to all aspects of alternative assets. So as I'm not quite sure if you know, right, we have a podcast as well called Get Diversified. So we're always open to those opportunities to diversify and see how to maximize the benefit. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you have to figure out what types of properties are going to work best in which market. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it trying to figure out and developing property. But I mean, like you said, they're not making any more land. And that's, I think Mark Twain or someone quoted that they're not making any more land. So that could be like your tagline if you,
right? That's good.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
One of the other things that we're focusing on this year, so we put quite a bit of money into, different deals, right? So 11 in total in the last 12 months. So this year, we really want to focus on identifying a market, that we feel that we could play in. And I think we've figured that out. Living in Pittsburgh, it's not exactly the best for multifamily, but again, we're going to leave that open. So we're going to try to focus on the Midwest area. We think that that's something that has an area that has a lot of potential. And we're also going to focus this year or the next 12 months on cash flow. Right. So we can easily replace my husband's income with buying a 20 or 30 unit here in Pittsburgh, knowing the areas because my husband knows them really well. So we're looking for opportunities right here in our backyard to build cash flow, because then we can, get rid of some of my husband's jobs by doing that. So those are the really two big focuses this year, is continue to invest the same amount of money that we did, but really try to focus on cash flow through diversification, as well as, buying something on our own. Sure. Instead of buying and selling, but buying and holding.
So right now, I mean, the current marketplace is difficult, obviously, with the higher interest rates. Some investments are showing much less cash flow than maybe in previous years had predicted. I'm curious to know what types of investments you're finding like the highest amount of cash flow currently.
Well, it's in opportunity zones, right? It's what we're finding, right? Affordable housing, right? My previous single family journey, right? Affordable housing has given a lot of great cash flow in terms of spread, right? Spread for value, particularly in our market here where we're at in Western PA. So we're kind of looking at that as kind of like the springboard pillar, right? To leverage as we're looking at potentially smaller deals in our backyard to kind of help the trade-off of me kind of taking some more stuff off of my plate. So, always out on the hunt, kind of looking for opportunities, to try to, improve that cash flow. That's our number one priority, particularly for us in our little ecosystem here, to try to, it's going to be a trade-off, right? So we can get some solid properties under our belt, even close in our backyard, right? And trade off some of the many jobs that I work. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, investments, there are a lot of different investments, and you got to build a portfolio, as Jack was talking about, diversify as much as you can. But, I'm just really curious, because I'm finding a difficult time, and maybe some of our listeners are as well, finding like really good, solid cash flow based investments.
Yeah.
Long-term, equity building and all that kind of stuff. It's all great. Right. But I, for example, had an investment I did about 18 months ago, maybe 20 months ago at this point. And it was, projecting a great cash flow. And then what ended up happening is the interest rates went up and they weren't able to refinance. That was in the business plan. And there has not been much cash flow. Let's just say there has been not much cash flow whatsoever from that deal. So, you make plans and you try to invest and find things that work, and they don't always come to fruition. I'm definitely not going to lose money on that deal specifically, but not getting the cash flow that I did project.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're looking at too with the affordable housing is there's a lot of free money out there too, right? For cities that need affordable housing. Well, I don't know if there's a city out there that doesn't need affordable housing, but specifically here in Pittsburgh. So we're looking at, utilizing the experience that my husband has with a single family. I'm looking at ways to grant money as well, because there's a lot of great beautiful buildings here that are just sitting. So what an opportunity, right? Why can't we snatch one of those out? And I don't care how big or small it is. We're up for the challenge. We have the right people to join our group to be part of the partnership. And we can't take down anything that's too big. Right. So I think that's our mentality. You have to just form the right team. So just really, gaining knowledge in that area and trying to fight it down.
It's true. There's a lot to that. There's a lot of wisdom there. I mean, I think it comes from your life experiences. A lot of people get started in this game at different points in their careers and their journeys, but you guys have come in, obviously have some wisdom of years behind you. Not saying that, I got plenty of white hairs too. So, speaking from experience as well, but that's what we're here for. We're here to learn, and we're here to take our previous life experiences and apply them to, what we're doing currently and what, hopefully it's going to push us forward in the right direction.
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'd love to transition to what we call the final four. Now, this is exciting because we do have a couple. We're going to play the newlywed game. Now, I don't know, how long have you guys been married now?
10 years.
10 years.
So still newlywed. I mean, listen, I'm 20 years, going to go on my 20th anniversary next week. And
congratulations.
Yeah. And, I can still consider myself a newlywed in a lot of ways. So it's all about perspective. Yeah. But we're going to play this newlywed game. The way it works, I'm going to ask each one of you the 4 questions while the other one is not present, and then come back and see if you guys matched up and got the questions that you think the other would say. Cool. Okay. First question is, what is the worst job you ever had? You, Melvin.
I would say it was a procurement role working for largest franchisee of Jiffy Lube. The worst job I had. It was a short-lived stint, but it was tough. It was a business transformation role. And the superior boss that I had, no go. So,
no go. No go. Okay. And what do you think that Jackie would say what her worst job she ever had was?
Being the owner of a franchise. We owned a franchise when we were in Texas, and she worked 70 to 80 hours a week. Never got a payroll check. She said she lost years on her life.
Wow.
Very stressful. And we ended up closing right before COVID. So that's probably the worst job.
Okay. We'll take that. Okay. Second question. What's a book you've read that's given you a paradigm shift?
I would say I follow Dr. Eric Thomas. So the name of that book is You Owe You. I love that book.
You Owe You.
You owe you. So you're responsible for your own success. You're responsible for getting yourself out of the hole and out of the rut. And you are responsible for kind of garnering that success that you the greatness that you were called to bring to yourself. So,
all right.
And he's kind of like in your face type of, he's like a coach, right? He's screaming and stuff like that. So I love that type of stuff. Yeah.
I love that stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think Jackie would say a book that's given her a paradigm shift?
I think words that inspire. So something about kind of a sales message, sales words. I don't specifically know the title, but I know she was kind of really intrigued by that book.
Okay. So, all right. We'll take that. And then what's a skill or talent that you would like to learn? It could be anything.
Learn how to swim.
Learning how to swim. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I should know, but I don't. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's never too late to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
And then what do you think she would like to learn? It's a tough one.
I would say going off the cuff, learn how to maintain that easygoing demeanor. We're kind of like opposites. I'm easygoing. My wife's high strung. So I'll throw that out there.
Okay. We'll see if that works. Hope it doesn't get you in trouble. And for the final question, what does success mean to you?
Hey, having all my time back. That's what success means to me.
So
as you can imagine, right? I work a lot, a lot of jobs. It's always has been my demeanor, my mindset, as what has been instilled and ingrained in me from parents and things like that over the years. Trying to figure out ways I get my time back. And I'll put a slash on that. Health. Without my health, this doesn't matter at all. So I'm a runner. It's really hilly in our neighborhoods. I push myself to get out, work out every day. I'm into fasting. So yeah, health. Health is number 2.
That's awesome.
By far. Time and health. That's what I'm working on.
Love it. And what do you think Jackie's answer, what success would mean to her?
Financial freedom and time with our family. Family is everything to her, is everything to us. Not having to have a worry in the world. I think that'd be kind of core for her. Financial freedom and just enjoying the family. She loves her family.
All right. Sounds good. So now we're going to bring on Jackie. You're going to take a break, tell her to come back on, and you'll step out. Then I'll bring you back.
Sounds good.
All right, Jackie. Okay, Merv is taking a break now, and you are back. We're going to ask you the 4 questions, what your answers, and then also what you think his answers are going to be for these 4. And then we're going to bring him back and see how you guys did.
All right.
These are tough questions. It is hard. I will admit it's hard to figure out what someone else is thinking, but I guess we'll see how it goes. First question is, what's the worst job that you ever had?
I'd probably say, I don't know. I really haven't had a really super bad job, but my last one was very time consuming and dealt with like a lot of issues, and it was the liaison between the two. So that always can be more difficult and just more stress.
What was that? What was that job?
So I work for a software company.
Got it. Okay. And what do you think Melvin would say his worst job ever?
He's had so many.
I know. That's what he said.
Probably in an automotive job that he worked. And I think there was a disconnect with management and just, unaligned goals and, that kind of thing.
Okay, great. Second question. What's a book you've read that's given you a paradigm shift?
I'm in the middle of a lot of different ones. That one's a hard one. I'm going to have to take a pass on that one. I'm looking at ones and just this one called Words That Matter, where, just trying to be more concise with how I deliver messages, and just dabbling into a few other ones in my spare time.
Yeah. Okay, great. Second question. And then for Melvin, what do you think he would say a book that's given him a paradigm shift?
I have no idea what he's reading. He has a ton of books that are on the side of the bed, but I'm not sure how often he has a chance to read.
All right. Has he ever spoken about a book, once upon a time or something that really...
I think he read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but not really sure on that.
Okay. I mean, listen, that's one that basically everyone can answer. That's given them a paradigm shift to one extent or another. All right. Third question. What's a skill or talent that you would like to learn? And this could be anything.
That I would like to learn. Just to be more effective at communicating with people in the real estate arena. I'm very good at talking to people, but not always good at closing the deal. So I like to be more effective at that. I love to share information. I don't have a problem with talking with anybody, but I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit down on the personal level and don't get the deal closed, right? And even though this, real estate is not getting the deal closed, but, the ultimate goal is to, get investors to come your way. So that's one of the things I'd like to focus on.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's a good one. And then what do you think, Melvin, what's a talent or skill or talent, something that he would like to learn?
Maybe be better at multitasking.
Okay. I don't think anyone can get better at that. Multitasking by itself is something that you're not supposed to do well. But...
Okay, here's a better one. Be on time. You need to get better at being on time.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll bring
answer.
I guess we'll bring that up, huh? Okay. You're asking for it, I guess. And fourth and final question, what does success mean to you?
Success, reaching our financial freedom number and really, spending time with friends and family and building memories.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. Yeah. And what do you think, Melvin, what do you think he would say in terms of what his meaning of success?
Probably the same.
Okay. All right.
I think he would answer that. I don't know if it would be a monetary amount, but really more on, having, getting time back. Well, I guess you can't get time back, but having more time to do the things that matters. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Bring him back and let's see how you guys did.
All right. Come on, honey. I'm not as long-winded as you, honey.
She kept it concise. All righty. Melvin is back and we're going to see how you guys did. I'm going to go through the answers that each one of you said. And surprisingly, you guys did really well in knowing what the others, not 100%, but I don't think anyone can get 100%. So when I asked, what's the worst job you ever had? Melvin, you said it was when you were working procurement at Jiffy Lube. And that's exactly what Jackie said. She said you were working at a, automotive company. And I assume that's what the one was. So you got 1 point there. And Jackie said she was a liaison at a software company, and that was very difficult with the last job that she had. Melvin said that it was when you were owner of a franchise and that took years off your life or something like that. So,
oh, yes. Yes, that was
pretty bad too, apparently.
A real job because I didn't get paid. So I guess it wasn't a real job.
Well, I
slave labor.
Yeah, exactly.
Real job. Yeah.
That's the worst kind of job when you work.
Yeah, the worst kind of job. It's the worst kind of job. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Second question was, what's a book you've read that's given you a paradigm shift? So Melvin said the book for him was You Owe You. And that was a book that really made a difference in his life. Jackie wasn't sure. She said, you have a lot of books piled up next to your bed. You Owe You. And he's got it right there in front of him. So I guess we're going to have to check that out. She thought it might, she wasn't sure. She said, you got a whole pile of books next to your bed. She's not sure which one. Maybe Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She wasn't sure, but you did get what her book was, which was Words That Matter. And I think you weren't sure the entire title, but Words That Sell or Words That Inspire.
Yeah, Words That Sell. All right. Good job, Peter.
You got it. You guys got it there. Awesome. And so the third one, which is interesting, is what's a skill or talent? This is really open-ended, what you'd like to learn. Melvin said he'd like to learn how to swim, something he never learned how to do. And obviously it's a really important task. She thought that you need to be more punctual, to be, you need to learn.
Continuous improvement, working on it.
You need to learn how to be on time to things, Melvin. So you got to work on that too. And then, you, Jackie, said that you'd like to be more effective at communicating, especially with real estate and, getting the deals done. And he thought that was, that you need to learn how to be more easygoing. So there's a crossover there, but I guess we have what to work on.
What's for that one, honey?
Oops.
Okay. This is doubling as family therapy. But fourth and final question, you guys both hit the nail on the head for each other, which was, Melvin said it was, get his time, health and time freedom. And she said that's exactly what you would say. And then you said what she would say, which is financial freedom and spending more time with family. And that's exactly what she said. So you guys both got that right, 100%. So well done. Love to hear the answers. It's really been a pleasure. I mean, the time flew by over here. You guys, I think, scored extremely high on the newlywed game, and wish you, much continued success. And
appreciate that.
How can our listeners find you or reach out to you if they want to?
They can reach us at morelandequity.com. So that's MORELAND equity.com, no dash. Okay, so you can find us there. Jackie and you can find us both on LinkedIn under our names. More Land Equity Capital has a LinkedIn as well as a Facebook site. And, we have a podcast as well called Get Diversified. Our family's diversified, as you can see, and we're practicing what we're preaching in terms of getting diversified in our financial future. So that's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So that's where they can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining me. It's really been a pleasure. And again, wishing you guys much continued success.
Thank you much. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. We appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You too. And to our listeners, thank you guys for joining all the way to the end. Once again, remember, until next time, the best advice comes only when you ask. Real quick, I have one question for you. Did you like this episode? If you did, I want to ask you a huge favor. See, the biggest thing that helps this podcast grow and that will spread this message to the whole world is that if you leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to the podcast. What that does is it basically tells the platforms that this podcast is out on is that you like my stuff and I'm doing something right. So take a few seconds out of your day, hit that subscribe button, leave a rating or review. I would be extremely grateful. Also, I want to hear from you guys. So I want to hear some feedback. If you have any questions for future episodes, please find me on LinkedIn, send me a DM, a connection request, Yona Weiss, and I'd love to hear from you.